You want the vitamins your skin can produce because of that sunlight. You want it pumping in your heart and through your blood. And into every tissue, and every cell of every tissue, every organ. You want all of that, and you want it in your system. You want it flowing through you. You want it, you crave it, you have waited, and you know it. You know you have waited long enough. Set the stage, set the mood. Gotta let it burn for a second here. I know you're gonna be yelling at me. What are you doing lighting fire on a bookshelf? It's just how I roll. I like to live daringly and stupidly sometimes. Anyways, okay. So today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about... I woke up... Ooh, that smells nice. Man, it just hit me. I woke up this morning from a dream. In the dream, I was hiding. I was hiding with another group of people. We were the majority, but we were hiding down in an old building. We'd found a secret passage in the, I don't even know what you call these things, but I must have seen one in in a movie in my childhood or something. You know those things where you dump the coal or something, like in the old houses that have a chimney. I'll have to look this up. So yeah, we were hiding down in one of those. We had a leader, and this is kind of coincidental or whatever. My subconscious playing with it, I don't know, or maybe it's real. We had a Hawaiian leader. He was like this old guy with a big white beard, and he kind of robust and big, but he was very gentle. And he knew that our time would come when we wouldn't have to hide anymore, when we would be able to overthrow, not necessarily overthrow, but just go and heal the relationship with the other side of humanity, felt like. Because it was me and him and a bunch of us hiding, right? And there was another aspect of humanity that lived outside, above ground, in a nicer building, and they were free. And he knew that a time would come when our relationship could be healed and we would be one. But he didn't know when that time would be. And he looked to me and told me he didn't know. And I think that just kind of made me feel like, well, I'm going to have to do what I'm going to do to make sure this happens. And so I kind of escaped. I escaped the place we were hiding, and I got a little bit more daring and bold. I went out and I spied on the other constituents of humanity. And I saw how free they were, and that they could walk and come and go and do as they pleased. Whereas we were forced to hide so that they wouldn't find us, so that they wouldn't devour us, or exploit us, or manipulate us. We knew we couldn't really fight back. We didn't want to fight back. But we knew that if we showed ourselves, they would exploit us. They would take us. So I spied on them. But you want to know something I noticed? As I looked at them, I realized their clothes were just as tattered as ours. They were dressed just like we were. They were dirty, they were scuzzy. In fact, I noticed that even though they lived above ground in the nicer building, when I looked around, when I came out of my hiding and finally looked around, I realized that we were living in like a wasteland anyways. That everything was kind of destroyed, like nuclear apocalypse style. And that even though they were free, they were still pitiful. They were scavenging for anything they could find. They were living in scarcity. And even though we were hiding, at least we had each other and we loved each other. And like we could count on each other, and we could lean on each other, and we were there for each other, supporting each other, making it easier. So, I woke up from this dream. It's been a gray. It's been a gray run of weather here. The skies have been gray every single day, and I'm talking really gray. I mean, it's springtime, and most of the time I try to live in tune with nature, and I do, and most of the time I do, and I get it. Like when we have a cold day, yeah, I get that. When we have a rainy day, yeah, I get that. When winter has to come, I get that. I like it. I like going within. But this is the time that I am integrating perhaps next. This time when winter's over. It's been a long winter. And we've had a few first nice days of spring. I don't know if you're hearing the birds outside at all. I've seen the robins. They've come back. Signs of spring are here. The first little bits of green or grass are starting to show underneath the thatch from last year. And so spring is almost here. But part of that is the dark, dreary, cloudy days. And on those dark, dreary, cloudy days, I don't mind them. But when they go on day after day for a week, 2 weeks, that can affect me. I mean, I think studies show that does affect your hormones and all of that kind of stuff. And I bet when you're truly in tune with that, there's something that it is meant to evoke in you. And maybe this is it. Maybe what I'm recording right now is it. So it's meant to evoke a depression. Okay? So what I want to talk to you about today, what I was thinking about, was the provocative dance that nature plays with us. She dances with us. She gives us a taste of spring, a taste of warmth after such a long winter. She lets us into the warmth of the sun. The days are getting longer again, and you're kind of just subconsciously, bodily feeling that good things are coming. And then she pulls back. She gives you a cloudy day, a rainy day. And you think, man. Then the next day it's nice again. Oh man, spring really is coming. You can feel it. It's imminent. She's here. She's coming. I know it's sexual. I know. I don't care. That's how a lot of nature is. And there's a lot to be learned if you can get past the taboo of that, the Western taboo of that. She toys with us. Oh, she'll give you another nice day, and then another cloudy day, another nice day, another cloudy day. And then she'll give you a whole stretch of cloudy, rainy days. And the saying goes, April showers bring May flowers. There comes a time in your life where the clouds move in. And what's hard about that time is, you know that spring was coming. You could feel it. It was like good things were right on their way. They were just at your doorstep. And then comes in the cloudy weather. And it can persist for a while, that cloudy weather. And it's not quite as warm as it should be. And every now and then you just get drenched, like life drenches you during that cloudy time. And it can be really hard. It can be very provocative, if you allow it, if you understand it. Because you want the good so bad. You want those sunny days. You want that warm weather. You want to be able to take your shirt off, go out in the sun and just feel the warmth on your skin. You want all the good effects that has on your hormones, on your brain, your nervous system, on every cell of your body. You want the vitamins your skin can produce because of that sunlight. You want all of that, and you want it in your system. You want it flowing through you. You want it pumping in your heart and through your blood and into every tissue and every cell of every tissue, every organ. You want it. You crave it. You have waited, and you know it. You know you have waited long enough. You have waited through the winter. You have gone through the cold, and you're ready for the warmth again. Just remember that the long stretch of gray days comes for a reason. It makes you want the warmth even more. But it's not just what you want. It's not just about the effect it elicits from you. If you'll stop to notice those gray days, they affect everything around you. They affect the grass, the trees, all of the vegetation. They affect the animals, the birds, the rabbits, all of those things. Those gray days affect them. Everything is on the verge, just waiting for the warmth to come. And those gray days bring water. And water is the communicative medium of nature. I think it was said, where is it? In Homer's chain, golden chain of Homer. Water is the anvil of nature. Water is nature's anvil. That means water is the thing where nature brings everything she wants to work on. And she works on it through water. So in those gray days, those humid days, I've seen a lot of fog too. Fog is always a curiosity. It's kind of like a little saving grace amidst the gray, because even though it's more gray, it's like, oh, this doesn't happen all the time. Interesting. Let me kind of watch it for a while. Watch it dry up as the day progresses, even though the day is still gray. Fog is a curiosity. But anyways, remember that those days bring water to the environment, to you and your environment. And if you are to enjoy summer, if you are to enjoy the flowers of May and the green grass and the green leaves and everything that's going to come out that you associate with those sunny, warm days, if you're going to enjoy that, you have to remember that it's the water that elicits that. If all it was that warmth came and there was no water, how would any shell soften up so that the sprout can shoot forth into the ground and then take root, shoot up into a plant, and in the end produce a flower? If there was no water, none of that would happen. If there was no moisture in the air, which produces the gray all around you when you're in the midst of it, if there was no moisture, none of those things would be elicited. If there was only warmth and no moisture, you'd have a pretty dry, barren wasteland of an environment. And even though there's the promise of freedom by coming above ground like in my dream and living above ground, not in hiding, I'm referring to winter. Winter is what I'm talking about here. Things go down under the ground to hide. But if there wasn't any moisture, those things wouldn't be able to crawl their way back out. It would just be dry. In fact, they wouldn't want to come out because they'd get scorched and they'd be burned. And then the warmth of spring and summer would be worse than the cold of winter. It would just be barrenness after barrenness. There would be nothing. So, what I'm saying is, do not fall too far into the gloominess of those gray days just before spring. You will have them, they will come. But fall into the anticipation. It's going to pass. It will pass. You don't know how many rainstorms it'll bring this year. This spring could be a very rainy spring, but you know what? You know that if it is a rainy spring, you're going to have a great harvest. A great harvest because of all that water soaking into the ground, unifying all of the microorganisms and the nutrients of the subconscious earth, homogenizing everything that they have accessible, and being able to bring it to the seeds which will be sprouting very shortly. So, remember that in the gray days of spring of your life, when you are waiting for warmth and sun and green and flower to emerge. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of drifting with Bene, drifting with me. And please don't forget to subscribe, like this video if it evoked something in you or made you think, and leave a comment if you have any questions or if you want to share anything about your gray days of spring. I would love to hear about it, and I'd love to respond if there's anything you need a little insight with. Thank you for watching. Until next time.